We know that the limit of a function f of x as x approaches a number like a is L can be written in this form. But can we provide a more precise definition for the limits? What is approaching in mathematical terms? In this video, we are going to use these two infinitesimally small and arbitrary positive numbers, epsilon and delta, to provide such a definition. So let's talk about the formal definition of limits of a function and see what each part means. Let f of x be defined on some open interval that contains the number a except possibly at a itself. So we are not concerned with the point a itself, and what really matters is an arbitrary open interval around this point. This part of the definition shows that we are talking about the domain of the function, and the points around a are in the domain of this function. Then we say that the limit of f of x as x approaches a is L, which can be written as this expression, and I think it's obvious except the word approaching that needs to be clarified. The rest of the definition provides this clarification. If for every positive epsilon, there exists a positive delta such that this expression is true. And I guess we need to talk about it a little bit. Epsilon represents the desired closeness to limit L, and delta represents the distance from the point a in the domain of the function around this point. This expression ensures that x is close to a but not equal to this point. And finally, this one ensures that f of x is within epsilon of L. Now let's see how this definition makes sense on the graph of a function. This is the point a we are going to approach to find how the function behaves around it. And this is the limit L the function tends to get close to. We can say the limit exists if for any small interval around L, we can find an interval around a, except a itself of course, such that for every point in the domain there exists a point in the range of the function, no matter how small epsilon and delta are. We can write a similar expression for the precise definition of the right-hand limit. We have this limit if for every positive epsilon, there is a positive delta such that if x is in the distance between a and a plus delta, then f of x lies within epsilon of L. In this case, we want to approach the point a from the right, and if the limit L exists, if we choose any interval around L, which is specified by epsilon, there has to exist an open interval from a to a plus delta so that the function lies within the epsilon of L. We can write the same expression for the left-hand limit, but this time we are approaching a from the left as shown in this part of the definition. Now this time for every positive epsilon, there has to be a delta so that for every x on the left of a, we can find an f of x so that it is in the epsilon distance from L. Now let's use the definition of limits to prove that the limit of 1 over x when x approaches 1 is 1. Our goal is to show that for every positive epsilon, there exists a positive delta such that if the absolute value of x minus 1 is smaller than delta, then the absolute value of the function minus 1 is smaller than epsilon. Our next step is to simplify this expression that is going to be bound by epsilon. So in this case, we can write it as the absolute value of x minus 1 divided by the absolute value of x. Our main goal here is to start from this expression and find a delta so that this expression becomes smaller than epsilon for any epsilon we choose. To better control this expression, we need to ensure that the absolute value of x does not get too small and out of control. Assume that delta is smaller than or equal to 1/2. So based on what you see, the absolute value of x is controlled by knowing that it is larger than 1/2, which gives this expression for the function. Now it's time to choose the desired delta. We want this expression to be smaller than epsilon, so the absolute value of x minus 1 becomes less than epsilon half. We had earlier assumed that this absolute value is smaller than 1/2. And now we have another expression for this. So we choose delta to be the minimum of these two values. Finally, we can verify that if we choose delta to be the minimum of 1/2 and epsilon half, the function lies within the epsilon limit of 1, which is the value of our limit. So we have proved that this limit holds. Now that you are familiar with the precise definition of a limit, can you think of a precise definition for these limits? This is what you're going to find out in the next video.